video is going to be my February favorites. I cannot believe we're in the month of March already, and I know I say this all the time, but honestly, this year is going by faster than last year. I really cannot believe it's already March. It's kind of insane. So today we're going to talk about the favorites that I've been loving in the month of February. I just recently got my nails done, so this is the first video I'm filming with my new nails. I got them done earlier today. Kind of just chilled out today. I just went to Target and then I went and got my nails done, and then I did a live stream earlier. But I had some spare time tonight to film my favorites video, and originally I wanted to film my favorites, but then I kind of wanted to do a live stream as well because I haven't done one in like 3 weeks. So I was like, oh, I have some time to go live today. So let's just jump into the favorites. Honestly, this time, I know I say this all the time, but there's really not too many products here because I haven't been buying as much makeup lately. This is stuff that I bought over the course of January and February. And it's mostly stuff that I bought in February. In March, I've been on a pretty low buy. I haven't bought too much stuff at all. I bought one lipstick and like a couple of things from Cursed Cosmetics because I wanted to try some of their products. But I'm going to try and stick to a one brand per month rule this year. I'm really not trying to buy too much makeup this year. I did have some exceptions, but we're just going to go through the 5 palettes that I bought last month. And I'm going to start with my favorite ones. So I mean, the other ones I really like too, but I'll tell you the pros and cons of those, but they're still really good. But definitely my absolute favorite palette that I tried in the month of February, and I knew I was going to get this palette, and I'm pretty much collecting the palettes in this collection now, in this series, and that is the Oden's Eye Times Angelica Hella palette. I did a 4 looks 1 palette with this palette, so if you guys want to see some looks on it, you can go check out that video. I just posted it a couple of days ago, and I love that my nails go with the palette. So I really love the packaging of this because the inner packaging is the same as the outer packaging, but it's in color. So Oden's Eye are just killing the game with these collabs and with these influencer collabs. I mean, they just are so beautiful. And the formula of Oden's Eye has become one of my all-time favorite eyeshadow formulas in general. I cannot believe I didn't try Oden's Eye for the first time until about June of last year. And since then, I have accumulated 5 Oden's Eye eyeshadow palettes because they are that good. I have all 4 palettes in the Legendary Diversa collection, and then I have the Freesia Diva palette, which was my first palette from them. But this palette is stunning. I knew as soon as I saw the color story of this, I just thought it was such a beautiful spring palette. And actually today is actually the last day, was actually the day that I finished testing out every shimmer in all of these palettes that I'm going to show you guys. So I've used every single shimmer in this palette, and they're all phenomenal. Their shimmers are just gorgeous, and they really do transform when you put them on your lid. And sorry for this a little bit of eyeshadow underneath. I didn't smudge anything. That is just from the crease color, so I'm sorry about that, but I think it looks pretty, so I didn't fix it or anything. But these shimmers are stunning. Their mattes blend so easily. They blend like butter, and they are so pigmented. I can't say enough about these palettes. If you guys are able to catch this on the restock, I would highly suggest that you do, because after that restock, because they were kind of iffy about even doing a restock because they had to see how fast the palette sold out, because it's not really that easy for them to reproduce these palettes right away. So they are doing a restock. I believe it's March 22nd. So if you didn't get your hands on it the first time, I highly suggest that you do. It is super stunning. I love the greens in here, and the pink shades. So I'm just going to swatch some of the greens. But the mattes are just phenomenal. So pigmented and easy to work with. And I have just fallen in love with the Oden's Eye formula. And the collaborators that they're working with just make total sense, especially Angelica, because she's been promoting Oden's Eye for a really long time, and they just created a gorgeous color story. So this one is Fluorescence, this one is Venom, and this one is Ouroboros. They just shine and shimmer just so beautifully. And then I'll swatch a couple of the other shades for you guys. So we'll do the pink, and then this River shade is so pretty. You're not really going to be able to see the shifts of the two, like, multi-chromes in here. Because double-sided is a multi-chrome, and so is, and River is kind of like a duochrome, almost a triochrome type of shifty shade. And this is the pink, which is Goddess. But when you put double-sided on your lid, it transforms, and it's like an orangey, whitish, yellow shift to it, and it's so gorgeous. So they're just all beautiful. So there are just some of the swatches, but I've been loving this palette so much. It's definitely been my tip-top favorite this past month. I mean, it is really hard to compete with Oden's Eye now. They really set the bar for eyeshadows these days because they're phenomenal. Then another brand I fell in love with, and this was the only new brand to me this year besides Adept Cosmetics, is Nomad Cosmetics. And this is the Nomad Cosmetics Whistler Snow Lodge palette. I was trying to convince myself left and right not to get this. I'm holding it upside down. Not to get this palette, but then just everything about it. The packaging is just so fun, and it's just so cute and well packaged. It feels nice. It feels really well made. And I love the sayings on here, like, for fuck's sake, I'm sleeping. You mustn't lose me. Howling good time. I mean, come on. It's adorable. But the overall color story, I was just really, really drawn to. And I was like, I feel like this is the palette I can get on board with to finally try Nomad Cosmetics, because I thought that this color story was just so gorgeous. I love these minty colors, these blue tones, these reds, these darker, like, mattes are just phenomenal. And then, like, this beautiful shimmer, and this, like, light tone pinky shimmer, and this gorgeous, like, berry shimmer. They're just, and the mattes are so rich and beautiful, but they're not too overly pigmented. They're pigmented, but they're easy to blend and work with, which is kind of similar to, like, Oden's Eye's formula. I would say they're probably very similar formulas. I think that's why I love them so much. And the shimmers are super sparkly and metallic on the lid. So I love this palette. It's beautiful. I think my favorite shade in the palette is this green shade. This was so stunning on the lid. It's so sparkly and beautiful. I also love the red, and I love this duochrome ski bum or multi-chrome. But the mattes are just so pigmented and beautiful. So they just blend out so easily, and Nomad has a very easy to work with, beginner friendly formula. So if you're kind of hesitant to dip into color, this is a really good palette to start with because it gives you an array of colors. But I feel like people that are afraid of color or neutral lovers like myself will be able to work with this and not feel intimidated. So that's just my mentality. So let's look at that green. So pretty. They're just so wet and metallic, like, so pretty. So let's just swatch some of the shades for you. Oh my gosh, I forgot I have the Oden's Eye swatch it still on my hand, but that's okay. We'll work around it. So I have, this one is Whistler, which is that green. The gold is very cool. You guys know how much of a sucker I am for gold. And then this one on top is Ski Bum. Look how that shifts. It shifts from like pink to blue to green almost, and it's gorgeous. And then I want to show you guys some of the mattes because the mattes are so rich and pigmented. So let's do Snow Matte. Look at that blue. Look at that. That's so pigmented and so rich and smooth. I'm going to do the brown. It's not as pigmented as the blue. That blue is insane. And then I'm going to do one of the lighter shades, which is still really pretty. Look at that minty green. But they swatch beautifully. That blue is something else. That is on another level of pigmentation. That reminds me of Kaleidos's pigment in the Club Nebula palette. That blue that's in there. I have to compare those. So this one is Snowmad. This one is Gone Skiing. And then this one is Après Ski. Just beautiful, gorgeous eyeshadows. Definitely my two favorite formulas that I've used this year. I knew with the Odin's Eye it was going to be just as good as the first three. And some people were kind of hesitant that it would be the same, but I knew they were going to be the same. But yeah, this is stunning. I've created a ton of looks out of this. And I love it. I think it's a really cohesive, fun palette. For me, I wish there were some lighter tones in here as far as the mattes go, but the matte selection that they decided to go with is really, really fun. And I love that they have these deeper browns in here because then you can use those to deepen up like any look. So I think it's gorgeous. I thought that this was such a fun palette, and I'm so glad that I decided to make this my first palette from Nomad. I just thought it would be such a beautiful eyeshadow palette for winter time, and that's why I knew I wanted to get it. And Debbie was the one to convince me to finally bite the bullet and get it myself. Okay, then we got a couple more palettes to talk about. So the next one is the Gourmand Girls C'est L'Amour palette. This was the Valentine's Day release and launch from Gourmand Girls Cosmetics, aka my love Christina Gourmand's brand. And this palette was a partner collab with Doodles by the Bunny. She designed this palette. It's not exactly a collab, but Doodles by the Bunny did create the packaging for this and the color story for this palette. And it's just such a beautiful color story. I'm absolutely in love with this layout that they did for Gourmand Girls because they've never done a layout like this before, and it's giving me serious Anastasia Beverly Hills vibes because this is usually how ABH would lay out their palettes in the square 12 pan palettes. And I love this for Christina. I think that this is a way easier palette layout. It takes up less space. Not that I don't love the round pans, but I just think this looks great. And I love that she decided to go with a different packaging aesthetic, and I love it. And this is just beautiful. I prefer the darker tone mattes in the palette. These two shades take, or these three shades take a little bit of building, but the red and the pink and the black are so rich and pigmented. This red is phenomenal, and then the Aoi shade is definitely my favorite because it's like a duochrome pink, and then this pink shimmer is also beautiful. I mean, she knocked it out of the park with this. It is stunning. Stunning. The red, though. Look at this red. Like, so pigmented. And then I want to swatch the black because her blacks are always amazing. Right? So those are the three shades. So that one is Rouge. This one is Oui, which is a really beautiful, like, shifty, goldish duochrome. It's stunning. And then the black is noir. So there are some of the shades for you guys. I'm just going to swatch one other shimmer for you. Or we'll swatch two other ones for you. Let's do this pink shade and boudoir. Just to show you guys some of the pinky shades, since this is obviously for Valentine's Day. But I'm obviously going to wear it year round. And I've tried every single shade in this palette. And the shimmers, I think I like the shimmers more than the mattes in here. So this one is Biscus, and then this one is Boudoir. But her mattes, I'm very used to being more pigmented and rich. Sorry, I'm a little confused. My friend is texting me right now. But yeah, it's beautiful. And if you guys didn't get your hands on this, I would highly suggest you do. It has two like duochrome shades in here and then 3 regular shimmers. And then the rest are matte shades. So I do like that it's more matte heavy than shimmer heavy. And it's gorgeous. I just think that she showed me this palette before it came out. And I was floored on how gorgeous it was. I mean, Doodles by the Bunny makes gorgeous packaging and color stories. And I'm glad that brands are finally recognizing how good her work is. And with Gourmand Girl's amazing formula, it's like a match made in heaven. So that one is the next palette. Okay, so then the last 2 eyeshadow palettes we have to talk about are, of course, from ColourPop. So the first one I'm wearing today, and this one is the ColourPop Secret Admirer palette, and this one is the palette that came out with their Valentine's Day collection. Originally, I was not going to get this, and then I decided I wanted to get it, so I ended up picking it up along with the, I just have to repress this Super Shock shadow in here because it keeps on making product come out. I'm going to just vacuum my floor at some point, so I just blew it away, but the next time I'm off, I need to clean my room because I didn't clean today. I just decided to get my nails done and pick up saline solution and go on a live. So yeah, so this one is the Secret Admirer palette. Really, really cute little palette for Valentine's Day. But I also wanted to get this because I don't actually really have a pinky toned palette from ColourPop. And you guys know I really like wearing pink looks. Besides warm tone looks and neutral looks, like brown neutral tone looks, pink tones are like my 3rd favorite eye look to wear. I love pink eyeshadows. So I wanted to get something that would kind of, fill that for me. But these shadows actually perform way pinker on the eyes than they actually do look in the pan. These ones are like a pinky tone, like shade to them. But this one, you would think it's like a cool tone, like brownish shade. It's not. It's like way pinker when you apply it to your eyes. See how it swatches way warmer tone than what it actually looks like in the pan? Like it definitely looks more similar when you swatch it, but when you put it on your eyes, it applies like a warm tone, lightish, almost peachy pink kind of color. Not too peachy, but it definitely looks more pinker toned on your eyes. But I think this little palette is good. I don't think it's ColourPop's best formula because there is a lot of kick up from the mattes. The shimmers are pretty, but their latest formulas for eyeshadow palettes haven't been as good as the ones that I've tried in the past, but I really do like the pinks in here. The pink look that I did with this was really, really pretty. And I thought that the pinky toned mattes performed better than like some of the lighter ones, like these two. Blended out really, really nice. And then I put this one all over the lid and this one on the outer corners and this one on the inner corners. And it was a really pretty pink look. So here are some of the swatches for you guys. So this one is With Love This one is Too Cute, and this one is Heating Up. They don't look too interesting when I swatch them, but when you put them on the eyes, they are really pretty. So I like it. Did I really need this palette? Probably not, but I haven't really had a Valentine's themed palette in like a long time. And also the only other one I picked up was the Gourmand Girls one. And I just thought this one was so cute with the heart-shaped pans, so I ended up getting it. So what I'm wearing today, but I just feel like there is fallout with this shade, and I feel like it's pigmented and it blends out, and it does give you a lot of depth on the outer corners. So it is a really good shade to add the depth that I usually need on my outer corners. And the shimmers are really pretty. Prettier than they look in the pan on your actual lid. So I like it. But this one is kind of flaky, and the mattes have a lot of kick up, but they do perform pretty nicely. And I find that this has lasted a really decent amount of time. So I've been wearing it since like 2 o'clock this afternoon, and it's now 8 o'clock. And it still basically looks the same. So I used With Love in the crease, and I darkened up the crease more with Hey Girl, and then I used My Everything on the outer corners, and then I put In the Mood all over my lid, and that's all I used from the palette. The In the Mood shade is like a really pretty, like shimmery pinky color, and I really, really like it. Like, again, it has like a more pinky hue to it when you actually put it on your eyes. It's kind of like a light rose gold almost, and it's really pretty. So I think it's really cute. I liked it. It's not my favorite ColourPop palette though, definitely not. Nothing has really blown my socks off from ColourPop since I got the Rudolph palette. That one was extremely impressive. These swatch kind of chunky a little bit, but that's still a really pretty color. And it reflects beautifully, and it's really pretty on the inner corners. So, and then the last eyeshadow palette I have, because I feel like I could talk for centuries about eyeshadows, but this is the last one, and this is the All Amethyst Pressed Powder palette. I tried so hard to stay away from this, and then it just kept on sucking me in, and then I'm like, the color story is just so pretty, so I ended up getting it. I just think it's adorable. But this is probably my least favorite palette out of the palettes that I'm mentioning, but I do like it. It's just, again, it's not so much the shimmers that I have a problem with, it's the mattes. Because when I first tried this palette, I had to build up the mattes so much. It was not like the Secret Admirer palette, where when I build it up, the matte just kind of goes away. I had that with this palette. So I found that the less mattes I used to layer, like if I just use one shade in the crease and then define the crease with another deeper shade, it doesn't really do that. But I tried to build these two shades. I used this one in the crease, and then I tried to darken up the crease more with this, because this looks like a richly pigmented pink shade. So I thought it would be dark enough to define the crease, but it really wasn't, and it kind of just blended into the other shade. So what I had to do is go over it with like this deeper purple, and that's when I could finally get the mattes to show up the way I wanted to. And then I just put like, I believe I put this one all over the lid, and it ended up turning out really pretty. But it just, for these two shades, you're going to try and add definition to your looks, and I feel like you can't really do that by layering them, because it's just, the mattes are very powdery in this palette. So it's not my favorite, but I thought that the color story was really pretty. I don't know if I really needed it or not, but I do like it. I think the shimmers are really, really pretty. But basically this Amulet shade is a straight up dupe for the Nightmare Before Christmas shade. Miss Dr. Finkelstein is literally the same shade. 100% the same. There's literally not a difference. So the fact that ColourPop is already duping themselves because they just come out with so much product is a little bit annoying to me. So this one is Sunbird, this one is Amulet, and this one is Feb's Gem. They don't swatch the greatest. I mean, I'm not really putting them in a place that's really easily swatched because I'm running out of room. But this shade, Brilliant, I really thought that this was going to be like a really pretty, like, blinding shimmer from ColourPop, and it looks really pretty on my lid. But when you swatch it, it swatches like extremely chalky. And then when you try to put it on the inner corners, because that's usually like the type of shade that I would go for to put on the inner corners, because I thought it was going to be like a white kind of pinkish shift duochrome. It looks very, very powdery on the inner corners and very dry. And that's kind of how it looks when you swatch it. So I don't know. I liked it. I'm not in love with it. I just thought the packaging was adorable, but I probably didn't really need it because I had the Or Kid You Not palette. So I convinced myself that I didn't need it, and then I picked it up anyway because I'm crazy. Okay, so let's talk about some cheek products. So I did pick up a couple of ColourPop blushes the past month or so, and I do really like all three of them. So the first one is the ColourPop blush stick in the shade Mallrat. And this was part of the Plush Like Me collection. And I was always interested in trying one of these from this collection. I just never ended up picking them up. And then ColourPop was doing a really good sale, so I decided to pick this up finally. And it's a really, really pretty, like, grungy, peachy, everyday shade that you guys know I love these types of shades. Kind of has a bit of a rosy undertone to it too. But it's a very neutral, like, rosy, peachy color. And I really love the formula of the blush sticks. This is one of the best creamy, affordable formulas out there. And people, like, do not talk about these enough. These are great. They apply over powder products super easily. So you don't really have to worry about if you set your face. This will apply so nicely over it. And I just think it's really pretty and it looks gorgeous on the cheeks. I've only used it once so far, in February, or I think like twice maybe. It might have been twice. It's so pretty. I really do enjoy that formula. And then the next one is the ColourPop Or Kid You Not blush in the shade Just My Pluck. I like this because I wanted to get something a little bit more of like a purpley pink shade from ColourPop, and this kind of reminds me of Makeup Geek's Love Letter that I talked about in the live that I did earlier today. And it swatches pretty nicely. It's a really pretty, like, mauve tone, cool pink shade, and I like it. But I noticed with, like, ColourPop's newer blushes, they're, again, a bit powdery. I mean, it's not like anything crazy, but you can see, like, powder kick up from the pan, and it kind of applies it a little bit more chalky than their original formulas. I still really like it, and it builds up really nice, but I don't know. That's just a little gripe that I have, but this is really, really nice, too. So I definitely have been using this one quite a bit more than the other ones. And then the last one is the Pressed Powder Blush from the Valentine's Day collection, and I got the shade Kiss and Tell. Now, I actually really like the blush, but the problem is the packaging of this. It is so impossible to open these. Like, I was struggling trying to open this today because I finally wore it for the second time today because I literally cannot get this open ever, but it's the blush that I'm wearing on my cheeks right now, and I think it's really pretty. It's like a neutral tone, kind of rosy color, but it's, again, not too pink. It's more of like a neutral pink. And I really, really like it. I do prefer this formula of this one as opposed to the Or Kid You Not one, but the Just My Pluck one is so much easier to get out of the packaging. Obviously that opens in 2 seconds, but like this heart-shaped packaging is adorable, but I can't get it open. So that's what it looks like on my cheeks. That's the only gripe that I have with this, but it is a really, really nice blush, and I do really like the formula of this, but it's like why am I going to waste my time trying to use this if I can't even get it open? So, yeah, that's like kind of a problem. And then the last product is not ColourPop, and then we have a couple more ColourPop products to talk about, is this blush from Odin's Eye. It is the Odin's Eye Alva Flower Blusher, and this one's in the shade Sweet Tulip. I actually have only used this once so far. I do want to use it a little bit more soon, but it's a really, really pretty, like, deeper toned pink. And this actually applies more, like, warmer tone when you apply it to your skin. And it looks like more of, like, a neutral, almost rosy shade. But it applies a little bit more pinker when you apply it to your face, like a little bit more hot pink. Not that it's necessarily a hot pink, it just applies more pinky tone when you actually apply it. But it's really nice. I absolutely love Odin's Eye's formula of their blushes, so I really wanted to pick up another one, and I really like this one. I just haven't been wearing pink looks that often. That one is so pretty. Okay, so now let's just talk about, we only have 2 highlighters to talk about. I don't think I picked up any other highlighters. So the first one is the one that I'm wearing on my face today, and this one is the ColourPop Shimmering Body Powder in the shade Bronze Hour. I haven't picked up any other highlighters besides the other one I'm going to show you, because your girl has way too many highlighters at this point, so I'm basically going to be on a no-buy again for highlighters for a while. But I just thought this one was so freaking cute from ColourPop. And these are not half as difficult to open as the Valentine's Day blush was to open, because that's literally impossible. But this is one of the Super Shock highlighters that they, you know, obviously changed the packaging. I think I talked about this in my last favorites video, so I won't talk about it too long. But it's a really pretty, I'm wearing it on my face today. It is intense. I really have always loved the Super Shock formula from ColourPop. It always shows up beautifully. Again, these go over powder really easily, but I don't powder my cheeks. I haven't done that in a long time, and that always makes the pigment show up better. But it's a really pretty, like, bronzy gold, bronzy pinkish gold. I really like it. So it's this one right here, but I like how it looks more on my face. Again, everything always looks better on your face than it does swatch. Don't ever judge things by just swatching it first. You got to really apply it to your face. And then the last highlighter, and only other highlighter I have to talk about, is this one from Nomad Cosmetics. I need scissors again to open these, just because I just got my nails done, so I don't want to ruin my nails. And this one is the shade Stockholm. So basically they only really have like eyeshadows and highlighters to try. So this one is called, I believe, Midnight Sun. Yeah, this is beautiful on the skin. It's really hard for me to not use this all the time because it is so silky and intense on the skin. Oh my god, it's beautiful. It just looks so stunning. Look at that. That's basically how it reflects on the skin, and it looks so gorgeous on your cheeks. So I have been loving this, and I've been trying to use it as much as I can. I've used it at least 3 times, and it's just stunning. So I really like this. It's not like super, super glittery, and it's not super blinding, but it is intense, and it kind of really reminds me of like the Nabla, but it's not as like glass-like looking. It's just a straight up beautiful intense highlighter. It's gorgeous. Okay, and then I just want to touch on 2 powders really quick. The first one is the Urban Decay Stay Naked The Fix powder, and this is the powder that I picked up along with the Stay Naked foundation and concealer because they were all on sale recently. They were all half price. This is so silky smooth, but this also adds quite a decent amount of coverage to my skin, and I can feel and see how it blurs my skin when I wear it. I really, really like this. It's definitely, look how pigmented that is. So I normally don't swatch powders, but it blends out so silky smooth on the skin and really has like a blurring effect to it. And I absolutely love how it makes my face look when I wear foundation. And I basically have been using this with most of my, work looks. I don't really wear it as like a regular basis powder, but I wear it when I work, and I really, really love how this makes my skin look. It makes it look airbrushed, or I'm usually wearing my Dior powder, which I'm still using. Even though I got 2 other powders, I'm still reaching for this at least twice a week. So I try to rotate all 3 of them around twice a week at this point. But this is my daily powder, and I'm still in love with this, so I had to mention it again. And this is the ColourPop Pressed Pretty Fresh powder. And I'm just going to show you guys how nice this is. I just want to like set some of my... It just like, it looks so nice on the skin. I really, really like it. And it's just so lightweight, and I really just love this for everyday looks. But I also use it with full coverage looks too, because it's not as pigmented as the Urban Decay. It's definitely more translucent, but it blends into the skin so beautifully. And you guys know how much I love pressed light powder since I have such dry skin, and this doesn't make my skin feel dry at all. With the Urban Decay, you can feel it a tiny bit, but it goes away in like a minute after I set my skin with a setting spray. But this is amazing. It really never feels dry on my skin, and it just makes my skin look beautiful. Again, it has an airbrushed effect and a blurring effect to the skin like the Urban Decay one does. Okay, and then just a couple of lip products. Let's just talk about the ColourPop ones really quick. So the first one I am wearing on my lips, and this is the ColourPop Glowing Lip in the shade Indulge Me, and this is their newest formula. This is different from the Ultra Satin. Wait, what was the other one? The Ultra Blotted. Is this the wrong one? I might be talking about the wrong one. Hold on. Sorry. The one I'm wearing is the Ultra Glowing Lip today, which this is one of my favorites anyway, but I talked about that in my last favorites video. The one I wanted to talk about was the Ultra Blotted Lip in the shade Super Mellow. So this is the non-shiny finish. It's not glowy whatsoever. It's just like a light, sheer, like less pigmented lippy, and it's really, really nice. I forgot that this was the one I wanted to wear today, but I ended up wearing the glowy lip. I'll show you guys how they look. I can just wipe this one off and I'll show you guys how this one looks. But I think I like how the glowing lip looked with this anyway, because it's a little bit more warmer tone than the Ultra Blotted lip color that I got. I feel some hair. So see the difference? This one is very, very light. Like more like a hint of color. Okay, I kind of like how this looked more. I forgot that this was the one I wanted to wear. But the other one was just in my drawer, so I just grabbed for that and wanted to get out of the house at that point. So I didn't really care which one I applied. But I really like either one of these to just apply and get out the door. But yeah, this one kind of looked better. This one is definitely takes a little bit more building, but I really, really like it. I just wanted to show you the difference between the two. I prefer these finishes of both of these compared to the lip creams. Actually, I liked how the glossy one looked. This is nice, but it's a little bit too cool tone. It is a bit pinker, but it feels extremely lightweight on the lips, and I really, really like it. So that one is not glossy at all. It's not like a glowy lip. This one obviously is, and I'll just swatch the other one just to show you guys the difference. And again, this shade is more warmer tone. So you can see the glossy finish to this one as opposed to the ultra blotted lip. So they both have the same packaging, but they're both two completely different finishes. So that is the they've been like my go-tos though. Like I just keep these in my drawer when I just need something to just throw on my lips. It's so easy just to apply those because they're just such easy lip products to throw on, and they have a really nice pigment to them, but not too pigmented. So the last one is the Fresh Kiss lip cream in the shade Smoochin', and this is one of the shades that came out with the Valentine's Day collection, and I like this. I really like the shade of it, and I kind of wanted another nude lipstick in the lip creams, but I don't love, again, the lip creams as much as the other two formulas that they came out with recently, because I find with these, they last like a couple of hours and then they kind of start getting a little bit dry on your lips, and the pigment kind of fades more than like a regular liquid lipstick, or like their other lip products in their line, like their Luxe Velvet lipsticks. I prefer those over the lip creams. And I like these, and I like the selection of colors that they have for these. They have a wide variety of shades, but I don't necessarily love the formula as much as their other lip formulas that they offer. So it's nice, and I have been reaching for this shade quite a bit. I've worn it a few times and I like it, but I don't think I've worn it yet with my Secret Admirer palette and blush. I don't think I've worn all three together, which is really funny. And then the last two products, the next lip product is the Odin's Eye liquid lipstick in the shade M202 Apricot Girl. I've been wanting to try their lipsticks for a while, so I decided to order a lipstick with the palette and the blush because you had to spend $50+ in order to get free shipping. And Odin's Eye doesn't really offer Afterpay, so I didn't want to pay like $5 to $10 for shipping. I just wanted to get the free shipping. So this one is the shade Apricot Girl, and I love the formula of these. I'm not too crazy about the scent. The scent is kind of strong, but the formula is very pigmented, super smooth on the lips, lasts for hours. I can only really feel it getting dry after like 6 or 7 hours of wearing it, so I thought that was a pretty decent amount of time because that lasts me through an entire work shift before it starts getting dry. It's gorgeous. I really love this orangey warm terracotta color. The only thing I would say about this is that look at the size difference between the Odin's Eye and the lip cream from ColourPop. And then look at the side. This is humongous. This is like one of the biggest lip products that I have in my collection. So I hope if they relaunch lippies or come out with new ones that they will make the packaging smaller. So, and then the last lip product, I actually have not hauled this yet, but I don't think I'm going to for a while because, again, like I said, I'm not trying to buy too much makeup in March. I'm trying to slow down a little bit because, again, there really hasn't been too many things that I'm interested in. I'm thinking about picking up the Star Wars palettes from ColourPop, but again, I'm trying to slow down with eyeshadow palettes right now too because there are a couple of other brands I am interested in trying this year. Like Sigma and ZC and Game Beauty are like the top 3 brands on the top of my list. So I don't want to necessarily add more ColourPop palettes to my collection because I counted and I have 26 ColourPop palettes. And those aren't including the 2 that I'm trying to declutter, which would be 28. So then if I get the Star Wars ones, it'll be 30. So we'll see. But this is I picked up this lipstick with my friend Karen when we went to Sephora. I was like, I didn't know that now my Sephora is carrying Gucci. And I've been kind of interested in trying one of the cream lipsticks from Gucci. So I decided to just pick up this and my face wash when I went with her because I didn't really need too much. But when you're with a friend, you like, I never go makeup shopping with a friend. And Karen like was asking for my advice on makeup because I really only go makeup shopping with Karen or my friend Becca. But I don't get to see Becca as much. And Karen also lives far away from me too. They both live in Queens, which is like 35-40 minutes away from the island. That when they do go makeup shopping with me, I want to get something. And this one is the shade Katrine Sand, and this is one of the cream finishes from Gucci. Oh my gosh. This is so freaking nice, you guys. I really, really like it so far. It's definitely more pigmented on the lips, and it's just so comfortable on the lips, and I absolutely love it. The only thing is that it is very heavily fragranced because Gucci lip products are usually pretty heavily fragranced along with most of their products in their line. So just be aware of that. If you're gonna get a Gucci lipstick, I find that usually the scents that linger the most are lip products. So it is a little strong and perfumey, but the formula is amazing on the matte finish and the cream finish, and the packaging is gorgeous. So I just felt like I wanted to get it. And now since they're carrying Gucci at my Sephora, it's a little bit dangerous for me because I am going to now start getting more from Gucci, and I'm probably going to get it during the spring VIB sale. So yeah, that is it, you guys. Let me stop rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed this favorites video. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at CPW819 and check out my Poshmark at the same handle. I've been talking a while today. I had a lot of thoughts about makeup with the live stream and the favorites. So yeah, I love you guys. I haven't filmed in a little while, just regular like talking videos. I filmed like a get ready with me yesterday. So yeah, please let me know what your favorites were this month. Did you try any of these products? Let me know in the comments below. I love you guys. Bye.